So today is the first day of archery, I was about to say archery elk, of archery whitetail and archery bear. It's my first time hunting this season for whitetail with my bow. Nick's been out a couple times and he's seen a couple small bucks. The internet here at camp sucks. It's like non-existent, so the computer is just on 24 hours a day, like desperately trying to upload YouTube videos. Ooh, we are going to hang these guys up.
Those are actually cool because a lot of the concern with CWD, well, some of the concern with CWD is scent. Spray that comes from deer farms.
Yeah.
This is no liquid, so you don't have to put anything on the ground. You know what I mean?
Right, but if they put their nose on this.
Yeah, but you don't leave it out.
I see what you're saying. All right, I am all suited up. I have my harness on. Can you see that? Underneath. And I have some antlers to do some rattling. That was like really close to my face. And I think I'm about ready to go. There are so many birds that look like whitetail tails that are blowing in the wind, and they keep catching my eye. So I don't know the temperature exactly, but I think it's in the low 40s, high 30s. There's a little bit of wind going and it's kind of swirling. So hopefully it will cooperate. And it's very overcast. It is October 29th, so the rut should be here. We're at the very beginning of it. As long as this wind quits swirling around, everything should line up for something good to happen tonight. I hear my first squirrel. Hold on, let me turn the music down just a little bit. Well, hunting day one was very slow, to say the least. Beautiful, nonetheless. It was a really nice night out. Nick's actually still out. It is so dark out though. Like he must have waited until like 5 minutes after shooting light ended. Let's see, yep. Anyways, I just checked my phone because I was like, maybe he shot something because it's so late. And he did not shoot anything, but check this out. My brother texted me and his friend, look at that. His friend just killed a deer, so that's awesome. And he killed that deer in a patch of woods that we hunt somewhat frequently. We hunt it every single year, so it's exciting to see an awesome deer come out of there. But nothing else exciting happened on my hunt, so now it is time to cook some dinner. Beautiful. So this is my favorite way to make broccoli. I put it on a sheet pan, olive oil, salt, pepper. I preheated the oven to 400. Then I'll throw those in until they start to get crispy and brown. Just a little bit, you know, on the edges. And I'll season the backstrap with salt and pepper as well. I might do a little something fancy with that. Depends on what kind of sauce we have, so take a look. So I know this is dramatic, but I'm using a fillet knife to cut the silver skin off the back strap. Actually, hold on. So this is the antelope and this is the mule deer. And we keep the silver skin on the meat because it freezes better. It kind of protects the meat from freezer burn. Then we just cut the silver skin off right before we, you know, fry it up in the pan or whatever. But my oven is preheated, so gotta put the broccoli in. There you go. That is mule deer, antelope, broccoli, and rice. I made a plate for Nick as well. So we'll see you tomorrow. Well, good morning. It is morning of day 2. We've eaten breakfast, mixed drink coffee. I skipped coffee this morning, and it is time to go. This morning is very foggy, and temps are in the high 30s. This tree stand that I'm in backs up to a bedding area. So if the wind is the wrong way, it's really bad. But we put this stand here because we had a trail camera up that was catching a lot of deer in and out of this pine thicket. It's a great spot for them to bed. And there are some rubs on some little trees down in front of the stand. The rest of the morning was pretty slow, but it's around 2 o'clock, I think. And we have just, well, I shouldn't say we. Nick put together a tree stand, this hang on, and we put together the climbing sticks, and we are going to go hang it right now and then hunt the rest of the evening. All right, so we're loaded up. This is really annoying. See that? It's kind of like playing Where's Waldo. Can you pick out the rubs? There's 2 of them in frame right now. So cool.
Such a nice day.
It is such a nice day.
Finally.
It's been raining for the past like 4 days. So the hunting has been just wet and cold. So the stand is hung, but it was giving us a lot more problems than expected. Just the shape of the tree, it has little lumps and bumps that weren't allowing the platform to be parallel to the ground. So it's situated kind of away from what we wanted, but there are plenty of rubs and other deer sign that lead me to believe that the deer aren't coming just from a single direction. Was so awesome. I know you can't see me right now, so I'm gonna walk back to camp and then I'll fill you in. Oh, what just happened?
3 doe came in. 1 doe came running in, and she was probably 40 yards from me as she was running in, but then she like stopped somewhere behind me and I couldn't see her. Even like when I turned and looked behind the tree, she was directly behind me. That makes sense. Or behind a tree. So I couldn't see her. And then 2 more doe came in, and I tried to record them as much as I could, but those does were way out of range. Then a tree fell, which I got on film. And at the time, I didn't know what it was, but after talking with Nick, he was closer to the tree that fell, and he saw it fall. And that spooked that doe that was behind me. And she ran 20 yards or less from me, but she was at full sprint. And this doe that spooked hung out at around 60 yards to 70 yards ahead of me. And while I was trying to range her, I was having trouble finding her in my rangefinder because it was already past sunset. And I think in the timber, it exaggerates the darkness. So it was only maybe 10 minutes past sunset, and legally you're allowed to shoot 30 minutes past sunset, but it was hard to find her in my rangefinder. And then I ran over, Nick was sitting in that tree stand that we hung, not too far away. And I ran over to him, and he said that he could see those does. He couldn't see me. I must have been, behind a tree well enough. But he saw those does, and he said he also saw a buck that I never saw, but that buck had to have been within 100 yards of me. He was just kind of behind me, so I never saw him. I feel a little more confident about actually being able to shoot something from the ground. It's definitely difficult, but I feel like if you're patient, the deer could give me a shooting opportunity. And it's so exciting to be on the ground with deer everywhere.
All right, I'm about 200 yards from where I was last night. Bow set up and ready to rock. I have this nice little brush right here to my right to kind of keep me closed in. Can you see Nick? There he is. Standing in a tree. I always get nervous when I first walk up to the stand because I feel like there's going to be a deer that I can't see, and then I spook it away before he gets to shoot it or something like that. That's actually happened to Nick before. His friend came to meet him, and there was a buck, not par, that was about to walk right in front of him, and then his friend spooked him. I'm sure that's happened to many of you before too. We're packing up the truck now, and we are headed home for a couple days because there's rain in the forecast. So that's it for hunting up at camp, but we will be back in a couple of days or a week or so. The hunting will continue. I'm glad we got to stand up. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.